Imagine this, one of America's hottest real estate markets, where homes flew off the shelves in days and median prices rocketed past $450,000, suddenly slams into reverse, with inventory exploding 40%, luxury condos gathering dust at slashed prices, and builders practically begging buyers to take properties off their hands, all while insurance giants vanish overnight and storm surge nightmares keep everyone awake. If that sounds like a financial horror story, stick around, because what's unfolding right now in the Tampa Bay region is a masterclass in how fast a boom can bust, and by the end of this deep dive, you'll understand exactly why families are walking away from dream homes, why Wall Street investors are dumping entire portfolios at fire sale discounts, and why local governments are staring down budget craters that rival the 2008 meltdown. Smash that subscribe button, drop Tampa Crash in the comments so I know you're locked in, and let's unpack every layer of this collapse from the ground up. Start with the spark that lit the fuse. Back in 2020, when remote work exploded and high-tax states started feeling like prison, a tidal wave of transplants from New York, California, Illinois, and beyond poured into the five-county Tampa Bay metro. Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco, Manatee, and Sarasota, drawn by zero state income tax, year-round sunshine, and what looked like dirt-cheap living compared to coastal California or the Northeast. Population ballooned past 3.2 million by 2023, earning the area non-stop headlines as the nation's fastest-growing hotspot. Suburbs like Wesley Chapel, Riverview, and Valrico morphed overnight from sleepy cow pastures into grids of fresh asphalt and identical rooftops as national builders like Lennar and D.R. Horton raced to keep up, snapping up every scrap of land on the urban fringe and churning out hundreds of spec homes per subdivision. By the spring of 2022, the frenzy hit fever pitch. Single-family residences in middle-class neighborhoods like Brandon or Palm Harbor that would have sat at $250,000 just 3 years earlier now commanded $400 to $450, while waterfront towers in Channelside, Harbor Island, St. Pete's Beach Drive, and Clearwater Beach routinely crossed the $1 million threshold, with multiple offers arriving before the open house snacks were even unwrapped. Days on market collapsed to single digits. List on Monday, under contract by Thursday, sometimes with a dozen cash-heavy bids pushing $20,000, $30,000, even $50,000 above asking. Total metro property values eclipsed $3 trillion, much of it perched on low-lying land everyone conveniently forgot could disappear under a hurricane's breath.
Behind the glamour, though, the math was already getting shaky. Builders, drunk on migration data, kept pouring concrete long after the smartest buyers started pausing. Construction cranes became permanent skyline fixtures, and by late 2022, the pipeline bulged with thousands of units nobody had pre-sold. Then the invisible hand of reality slapped the market awake. Interest rates that had lounged near 3% shot past 7%. Instantly erasing affordability for anyone who needed a mortgage. At the same time, the insurance bomb detonated. Major carriers, State Farm, Allstate, Travelers, and a dozen others quietly stopped writing new policies across the entire region by early 2024, spooked by Hurricane Ian's $112 billion scar, even though the eye wall missed Tampa Bay by 100 miles. Overnight, the only lifeline left for most homeowners was Citizens Property Insurance, Florida's insurer of last resort. By midsummer 2025, Citizens rolls in the 5 counties topped 220,000 properties, a figure the company itself stamped in quarterly filings. Premiums? Brace yourself. A standard 3-bedroom ranch in central Tampa now carries a $6,000 to $8,000 annual tab. Slide closer to the coast, Clearwater Beach, Harbor Island, Anna Maria, and you're staring at 10 grand or more. Translate that to monthly cash flow, and you're adding $500 to $800 to the mortgage before property taxes, HOA dues, or even electricity. Lenders, who must see proof of coverage before funding, started rejecting deals left and right when debt-to-income ratios blew past federal caps. Real estate agents report that fully a third of would-be buyers in 2025 simply vanish the moment the insurance quote lands, killing escrows faster than appraisals ever could. Layer on the climate risk that nobody could keep ignoring. Tampa Bay's geography is a giant funnel. Warm Gulf waters get shoved straight into downtown when a storm lines up just right. University of South Florida researchers running NOAA's slosh models paint a nightmare. 15 to 20 feet of surge in a strong Category 4 or 5 would swallow Davis Islands, Apollo Beach, Paso Grill, even Tampa General Hospital's emergency room underwater. Evacuation routes? 2 causeways and a handful of bridges that gridlock the second a mandatory order drops. The area hasn't taken a direct hit since 1921, but every brush by, Elsa, Idalia, Milton, reminds insurers that the clock is ticking. Actuaries don't price for maybe, they price for when, and that's why private carriers bailed and Citizens is gasping under the load.
Fast forward to summer 2025, and the reversal is brutal. Region-wide median sale price has slid to $362,150, wiping out 4 straight years of gains in 18 months. St. Petersburg clocks a 7.6% year-over-year drop. Sarasota closer to 12 in some pockets. A $500,000 charmer from the 2022 peak now struggles to pull $425,000. Luxury? Try $2 million beachfront condos languishing half a year with sellers carving off $50 to $100,000 just to spark a conversation. Inventory in Hillsborough County alone is up 38% year over year. Pinellas and Pasco mirror the surge. Sarasota's active listings rival post-2008 levels. Months of supply, once measured in weeks, now hover at 6+, textbook buyer's market. Builders who couldn't frame fast enough 2 years ago now roll out desperation incentives. Mortgage buydowns to 4.5%, free appliance upgrades, 15% price chops, closing cost credits that would have been laughed at in 2021. Spec houses sit vacant so long that weeds reclaim the model home lawns and sales offices echo with silence. Condos are ground zero for the pain. Take a high-rise on Clearwater Beach. Units that flipped for $800,000 in 2022 now beg for $600,000 with 0 takers. New state-mandated reserve studies force associations to stockpile cash for roofs, elevators, seawalls, triggering special assessments that hit $75,000 per door in some towers. HOA fees that used to run $400 a month triple overnight to cover insurance alone. Owners who can't pony up the cash face foreclosure or forced sales at steep losses. Banks end up with ring of keys nobody wants. FHA and VA loans? Forget it. Most buildings can't certify reserves or coverage, locking out first-time buyers and veterans entirely. Wall Street funds that scooped thousands of doors during the boom now dump entire portfolios in bulk, flooding MLS with price-reduced tags and dragging comps lower in a vicious spiral. Appraisals routinely land 10 to 15% under contract, scuttling deals and leaving earnest money battles in their wake. Days on market balloon past 40, then 60, then 90. The phrase motivated seller becomes code for panic.
Ripple effects hit well beyond disappointed homeowners. Hillsborough County's budget director is projecting a $70 million hole as property tax receipts shrink. School districts in Pinellas and Sarasota brace for pink slips. Municipal bonds tied to booming valuations teeter. State senators grill insurance commissioners in Tallahassee, demanding caps on Citizens' growth, private market reentry incentives, and emergency budget patches before the damage calcifies. Construction layoffs are already ticking up. Framers, drywallers, permit runners who feasted on overtime in 2021 now line up at unemployment offices. Recent buyers who stretched at 7% rates and $6,000 insurance face negative equity the moment values dip another 10%. Strategic defaults loom on the horizon like the next storm cell. Zoom out, and the big picture is sobering. Tampa Bay's crash isn't just another cycle. It's a collision of overbuilding, interest rate shock, insurance Armageddon, and climate reality that nobody priced in during the gold rush. Migration hasn't stopped. People still love the beaches and the tax climate, but the cost-benefit equation flipped. A family earning $80,000 a year can no longer swing a $350,000 house when the note plus insurance eats half their take-home. Retirees on fixed pensions watch HOA specials wipe out nest eggs. Investors who bet on endless appreciation now race to exit before the next hurricane season. Reminder sends prices into freefall. Yet amid the rubble, opportunity glimmers for the cold-blooded.
Cash buyers with deep pockets scoop distressed condos at 40 cents on the 2022 dollar, betting that insurance markets stabilize and rates eventually ease. Local governments float tax increment districts to fund elevated infrastructure and mangrove restoration, hoping to shave surge risk enough to lure carriers back. Reform bills in the legislature promise reserve study phase-ins, citizens depopulation bonuses, and reinsurance subsidies. Long shots, but the only shots in the chamber. What does it all mean for you? If you're eyeing Florida real estate, run the insurance quote before you run the mortgage pre-approval. A deal that pencils on paper can implode the day the binder lands. If you're already in, stress test your equity. Another 15% drop puts thousands underwater. Builders, slow the cranes. Inventory digestion will take years. Policymakers, quit kicking the can. Climate adaptation costs real money, and the bill is due now. Tampa Bay's story is a neon warning sign for every sun-soaked growth corridor in America. When migration, low rates, and denial converge, the party is epic, until the music stops and the cleanup reveals who was swimming naked. Hit that like button if this breakdown opened your eyes. Share it with anyone house hunting in the Sunshine State. Turn on the bell so you never miss the next market autopsy, and I'll see you in the next one where we track whether the bottom is finally in or if the next storm is about to write the final chapter.
We just wrapped a 30-day walking challenge that had folks dropping inches and gaining energy. And the holiday recipe thread is already lighting up with sugar-free pies and budget-friendly roasts. The whole thing lives at schoolskull.com/benefits-inside, link in the description and pinned comment. And the first month pays for itself 10 times over between the downloadable discount lists alone, which catalog over $2,500 in annual savings at pharmacies, grocery chains, utility providers, and travel clubs most seniors never knew existed. I capped early enrollment at 250 members to keep the group tight and responsive. We're already past that and growing, so grab your spot before the next price tier kicks in. Back to the stimulus watch. Bottom line, the money is there, the mechanism is there, the precedent is there. What's missing is the laser focus from the top. If the president treats this like his legacy moonshot, Congress will salute and deliver. If it's just another shiny object to dangle in front of cameras, we'll be having the same conversation next July. Either way, you'll hear it here first because I'm tracking every whisper out of D.C., every line in the Federal Register, every customs report the moment it drops. Drop your thoughts below. Is he serious this time or just stringing us along? Have you started mentally spending that $2,000 or are you keeping the champagne on ice? Every comment fuels the algorithm and keeps this channel in front of more retirees who need the truth. So don't hold back. Smash the bell icon so you're notified the second I post the follow-up, the minute we get movement on the hill. And if you found this breakdown helpful, give it a thumbs up. It takes half a second and tells YouTube to push this to more seniors before they fall for clickbait promising checks that never come. I'll be back tomorrow with a deep dive on the Medicare open enrollment landmines nobody's talking about yet, plus a sneaky Social Security rule change slipping through the cracks that could add hundreds to your monthly deposit if you act before December 7. Until then, stay sharp, stay skeptical, and keep that phone handy for the text alerts, because when that $2,000 deposit finally hits, I want you to be the first to know, not the last to find out. See you in the next one.